And he comes in, gives Renee Zellweger this big speech, and she says, "You had me at hello." Well, he jumps on a couch on Oprah show to the girl he really does end up marrying. Everyone thinks he's a nutball. He's passionate about something. That's why his movies work. I think the guy's great. I think everything he does is great. I don't know about his Scientology. It doesn't affect my life. He's not out hurting people. He's trying to help people. So this is not a Tom Cruise for President show. I'm just saying he's into his movies. Mission Impossible 3, I think is fantastic. If you love a big, big budget movie with big explosions, big chases, big everything, Mission Impossible 3, check it out. As always, in the show notes, I'll have a clip of the movie, so check it out. tiptopwebsite.com/video. Look in the show notes for this show, number 6. You'll see a clip of the movie. That's my pick of the week. Let's talk about business for a second. Everyone I talk to says, "Hey, Dan, how can I become successful in business? How do you own this company? I mean, how did you get to be the CEO?" Well, I'll tell you, I've been doing this for 13 years. It didn't happen overnight. I bankrolled my own money, started the whole company with a few dollars in my pocket, put most of it on a credit card, and worked hard. I mean, I don't mean just work kind of hard, really hard, 80, 90, 100 hours a week. My wife was working side by side with me before we had kids, 100 hours a week. I still, to this day, 13 years later, I'm still doing good 70, 75 hours a week. I have a staff of people that are fantastic that help me. But to stay on top, you got to work hard. J. Paul Getty, oil billionaire. Funny quote of the day from him. Formulas for success. Rise early, work hard, strike oil. Now, how does that apply to everyone, strike oil? What it means is find something you have a passion for that has a potential of making money. Work hard. Work harder than the next guy. Donald Trump, love him or hate him. First of all, he's done a great job raising his kids. I don't know them personally, but I mean, they're 25, 26 years old, flying around the world, building their own buildings. They could have easily gone the Paris Hilton way and been nutballs on a reality TV show. Now, they are on a reality TV show, the Trump show, where they're firing people, but they're not making fools of themselves. I mean, these are extremely educated people, graduated from business school of Wharton. They're the real deal. A friend of mine, Keith, president of a big organization, and I were talking last night, and I love talking business with smart guys. And I tell you, this guy is a very, very sharp guy. We were talking how to manage our time and how do you hire people and give them responsibility but still feel like you're in control. That's a balance that entrepreneurs deal with every day. I probably can cut my work week in half if I gave more responsibility and hired more people. But I like to be hands-on. When you own your business, you have to be hands-on. You can't just take every day off and do things. Business will collapse because there's always someone behind you that's hungrier, that'll take over. Just like in sports, just like in everything you do. It's a global economy. The world's wide open now. You're not just competing with the kid next to you in school. You're competing against every school in the world. I'm talking about when you're in school, when you get out of school. You know, 50 years ago, you graduate from college, you get a job at IBM, you'd be set. It's different now. America outsources their job. China outsources their jobs. India outsources their jobs. They insource their jobs, if that's even a word, insource. We send jobs overseas. Overseas send jobs here. Yeah, I mean, you got the Mexicans from Mexico come here. I mean, I grew up in California. People are so down on the Mexicans. Some of the finest people I've met in my life, some of the hardest working people I've met in my life come from Mexico. So don't judge people on their skin color. Don't judge people on their ethnicity. Judge people on how hard they work, if they're good to you, if they're true to you. And if you want to hire them or not, don't judge them on what they look like. Judge them on what they can do. Honesty is everything to me. Loyalty, everything to me. You may not be the smartest guy in the world, but if you're loyal and you're honest, I'll teach you. You know, I don't know everything. The greatest thing you can do is ask questions. I have met some of the smartest people in the world that I personally think are the smartest people in the world. I mean, I know guys flying around in their own $40 million jets, and they're constantly asking questions. I mean, these guys, you would think they would sit back and say, I know it all. They don't. They constantly ask questions. Say, oh, how does that work? Or how does this work? Simple questions. They go to dinner with these guys, and they'll ask, Where does that come from? Well, how does that work? How do I do this? Simple questions you're blown away by, but that's how they learn. You have to be open to listening and hearing, and listening and hearing other people's points of view and other people's opinion. It doesn't mean you have to believe everything they say. Keith and I were talking last night. Here's a guy who runs his own, he's a president of a huge business. And I always see him first thing in the morning when he comes in his business, no matter what time I go there. And last night, 7 o'clock at night, we're still having this great conversation about business and how to get more done in a day, that you can be creative but still be hands-on and deal with the customers. It's a balance that you have to figure out. Bottom line, you got to work hard. And I don't just mean hard, don't just put a few hours into it. With these TV shows you see on TV, I worked 2 hours a week and I made $500,000 last year. Baloney. Don't believe it. The only people who are making money is the guy or girl selling you that package on TV. That's the only person making money, not the people buying the package. It's a scam. There is no secret in life to being successful except for working hard. That's it. You can go, listen, Donald Trump, again, love him or hate him, he says, look, I get 3-4 hours sleep a night. The guy's got a few $1 billion, still be in the office by 5 o'clock every morning, working harder than anyone else. Don't go take 2-3 hour lunches and wine and dine your clients. Take a short lunch. If you don't have clients that day, take a 15-minute lunch. I take a 15-minute lunch and go downstairs, sit out in the sun, have a sandwich, come back to work. Get your work done. Stop goofing around. Listen, if you want to get promoted and you work in an office, stop texting. Stop looking at YouTube. Do your work. Nowadays, your boss is looking for someone that's a go-getter, someone that can think outside the box. I know it's an old cliche, think out of the box. No one really says it anymore. Be creative. People will notice. Work hard. You want to start your own business? Do it. Don't whine about it. At 19 years old, I had no money. When I say none, zero, zilch. A friend of mine let me stay with him. Didn't have a car, didn't have a motorcycle, living in LA, trying to be a cool actor. I borrowed his sister's 10-speed bicycle. Now I'm 6'6". His sister's 10-speed bicycle looked like a tricycle. I rode that around for 6 months to save the money to buy a motorcycle. So don't tell me your sob stories. Just do it. Nike's got the greatest slogan in the world. Just do it. You can really only count on yourself. It'll make you a stronger person. Work those hours. Maybe if you go out party every weekend, don't party for a while. Don't party on a Friday, don't party on a Saturday. Stay home, draw a business plan. Stay at home, be creative. Years ago when I started my business, a friend of mine says, look, we're all going to London and I'm paying for the trip. I didn't have any money and I would have loved to go to London. I'd never been there before. I said, you know what? My business is starting to take off. This is 12, 13 years ago. I'm going to stay and work. He said, so we're only going for a week. I said, you know what? I'm focusing on this. I really need to focus on this. I'm working 90, 100 hours a week. I'm going to focus on this business and make it work. You have to have sacrifices. That was a big sacrifice. To go to London for a week, all expenses paid, with a guy who had a ton of money. I would have seen London like, forget it, the red carpet all the way. I didn't think twice about it. I said, no, I want to start a business. Now here I am. I own my own business, and I'm still working hard. Don't give up. Work, work, work. I learned this in acting. I'd go to auditions. I thought I was perfect for the role. There's 50 guys that show up, look just like me, and I would think, wow, this is crazy, And that was the morning call. And the afternoon call, maybe another 50, 100 guys. How am I going to get this job? Well, I never thought negatively. I always thought it's a numbers game. The more I go, the better chance I have. And I'll keep going to these auditions, and soon everyone will give up. I'll be the only one left. And that's how it happens. I was probably too naive to know that the odds were against me. It eventually worked out. It was a great lesson learned. Don't give up. Don't give up on your dream. Simple. Now, always dream big. If you want to be an astronaut, dream about being an astronaut. Find out how to be an astronaut. Go be an astronaut. I mean, I'm talking that's a huge dream. Maybe at the end of the day, you don't turn out to be an astronaut. It's also a numbers game. It's got to be the right place, right time. You've got to be the right shape. But maybe you end up working at NASA, helping the astronauts get to space. How great would that be? How great would that be? If you want to be a Major League Baseball player, both my kids, Dad, I want to be